July 22nd, 2016. A 10-year-old me is up at 1 a.m. watching the Sonic 25th anniversary party, where they revealed Sonic Mania, Sonic in LEGO Dimensions, and Sonic and the Secret Audio Glitches hours prior.
The question is, what is next for Sonic? Last month at the Tokyo Joypolis party, Takashi Iizuka, the head of Sonic Team, announced that on
Just before the event ended, Takashi Iizuka, head of Sonic Team, came up on stage and revealed their next big title with a name that we already know about. Project Sonic 2017. Back at the Sonic party in Tokyo, they revealed that there would be something for the 25th anniversary party a month later. Now at this party, everyone assumed that Sonic Mania was the game that they were talking about, but they proved us wrong with that, with what I believe is the most overhyped trailer for any piece of content I have ever seen. When that trailer began, I was ecstatic. Eggman had won, the city was in flames, Death Egg robots were everywhere, and Sonic was back with no blue arms to speak of, because at the time, the latest home console Sonic game released outside of the Sonic Boom series was in 2013. You had Sonic doing his thing, going up, down, and all around, and classic Sonic was back. But I didn't care. I had just beaten Generations on PC and loved it. I was all in for more. It was to be released in a year and a half on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch, or as we knew at the time, the Nintendo NX. This got me even more excited. Mania wasn't coming to the NX at the time, and I really wanted a new Sonic game for that console. Leaks came and went, predictions flew everywhere, and all of it just got me even more excited as it went on. Then, March 2017, Project Sonic was revealed to be called Sonic Forces, and they showcased a few moments of the city level we saw in the trailer. Then came E3, which was the craziest time for the game. Around a month before the event, it was revealed that you could create and play as your own custom avatar, and the silhouette that was shown earlier on Nintendo Direct had everyone thinking it was Bubsy. Little did we know. The trailer shown at E3 made every Sonic fan have an aneurysm. Right above our heroes were Shadow, Chaos, Metal Sonic, Red Bowser, and a new villain, Infinite. A few sneak peeks, and a preview later, Sonic Forces was finally released to the public, and
as it turns out, Forces is an odd mishmash of half-realized ideas and odd concepts that don't
Sonic
really feel
Forces
like they go
gave me the
together,
impression
or even like they
that
were
it was going to be
completely
on
thought through.
autopilot
Some
for
of
the
the
whole stay,
individual
and I
pieces
feel
of code
that's
modern
the
Sonic
perfect
games are
description
great,
for it.
such as
Sonic
smooth style
Forces
gameplay
is a modern Sonic
and
game
Forces
on
does
I liked it. On my first playthrough. After I beat the game, in 8 hours mind you, I got around to beating it 100%-ish. Then I beat it again, and beat it again, and beat it again, and beat it again. A purchase on Steam and a completion in 2 hours when the game was about to expire on Xbox Live free day, so I couldn't play it after those 2 hours later. I can confidently say that Sonic Forces is one of the worst games I have ever played. Worse than the 8 minutes I played of Sonic 06. Worse than Sonic Free Riders. Worse than that freaking Cube Creator 3D game on the 3DS. Worse than Cars 3 Driven to Win. Okay, maybe that might be a bit too far. The point is, I dislike this game immensely. Is it because of the physics? Is it because of the awful level design? Is it because of the overplayed, poorly written plot? Is it because of the hype that preceded the launch? Well, alright, let's begin with the story. Dr. Robotnik gloats about his distaste for Sonic the Hedgehog. After this cutscene, we switch to the first stage where we play as Sonic, who is informed by Tails that Eggman's forces are raiding the city. What city? Exactly. They don't give a name to the city in this game, so I'm just gonna take the name that the IDW Comics gave it. Sunset City. Yep, the company that published Powerpuff Girls 2016 comics came up with a better name than a multi-billion-dollar business. After we finish the stage and Sonic enter the city, we're attacked by Metal Sonic, Shadow, Chaos, Red Bowser, and Infinite. They beat up Sonic while Tails is behind him playing Angry Birds on his iPad, and Sonic dies. We're then shown the impacts of the... I hate it here. Sonic's friends create a resistance, fight against Robotnik, and have been struggling for the past 6 months. Now most sane people immediately asked, why is Silver here? He's from the future. Well, a few weeks before Forces came out, the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account released a few short comics that take place before and during the game. With one being Silver warning Knuckles about the future and telling him to form a resistance. But here's the problem. They were on the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account. While, yes, a lot of people follow the Twitter now, this was before they even reached 4 million followers. While, yeah, sounds like a lot, These people were mostly diehard Sonic fans. I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but Sonic Boom handled this better. In Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, you could go to Sonic's house and read a prequel comic that explains a few things in the game. Were you wondering why Knuckles is in the mountain for no reasons? That's explained in the comics. You want to know why Shadow is mind controlled by Lyric? I almost said Infinite. It's explained in the comic. Want to know why Eggman isn't in the game but Metal Sonic is? Well, do I have bad news for you? So really, if Sonic Boom can handle a prequel comic better, why is Forces like this? It's at this point of the game where your avatar comes into play. As you can see, I've created Monica the Wolf, Anton Veruca's long-lost sister who is finally joining the Resistance after mourning the loss of her best friend, LS Mark, who was murdered by Infinite. Knuckles introduces the Resistance to Monica, and shortly after, they learn from Rouge that Sonic was alive the entire time and has been tortured for months. Wow! Super edgy Happy Tree Friends writers! Now I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Sonic's completely fine, not a scratch on him. He's just in your average prison cell. Most people said, Sega sure is lazy by not being consistent, and you're absolutely right. Mostly. You see, the whole tortured for months thing was a translation error. He was instead that. The gang, along with Monica, rush to the chemical plant to steal a shuttle and head to the Death Egg to rescue Sonic. Meanwhile, Tails is trying to fix E123 Omega. Why? Okay, so get this. You remember Sonic 4? Stick with me on this one. If you remember, in that game, there was free DLC that you can unlock if you owned both Episode 1 and Episode 2 on the exact same console, Episode Metal. Sega decided that it was so brilliant that they would do it again with Shadow. I promise I'll get back to the main campaign in just a moment. Episode Shadow was unlocked for completely free and was released on day 1. They released a patch in Japan that made it unlocked out of the box. What was the point of this being DLC? It comes with 3 stages and also allows you to play as Shadow in a majority of Sonic stages. How fun! You might be thinking, why only a majority of Sonic stages? Because we can't have Shadow being eaten by a snake now, can we? The 3 new stages are great. They're unique to Shadow and feel brand new to the franchise. I'm showing footage of a mod. The unique stages are, I kid you not, the exact same as the main campaign with a few extra blocks. Stage 1 is Sonic's Sunset City stage. Stage 2 is Monica's Jungle stage. Stage 3 is Sonic's bonus stage, with Monica's Green Hill stage in the mix. Oh, and how could I forget about the story? So Omega goes offline and Shadow needs to find out what caused it. But here's the funny part. In the comic, which is canon mind you, not only has a picture of Sally making her canon, but also has Shadow enter a pyramid to find out what caused Omega to shut down. And if anything, the pyramid makes more sense because the Sunset City stage is called Enemy Territory and has the city on fire before Eggman's takeover, mind you. But if we replace the city with the pyramid, it makes far more sense. Shadow meets Infinite for the first time as, yes, it was him who shut Omega down, that monster. After we get some long conversations, we head to a flashback in a flashback. Good grief, Sega, you watch way too much Family Guy. Infinite tries to attack Shadow in the jungle area, but Shadow beats him up and Infinite says his sweet and ominous catchphrase.
Not weak. I am not weak.
I hate it here. Back to the main campaign. Tails is fixing Omega when Chaos tries to stop him. Now, Tails has fought a stronger form of Chaos, so this should be no.
Sonic, help me!
My life was a lie! Saving the day, classic Sonic, who for some reason is from another dimension now and is not from the past generation, already established that this is younger Sonic, why do we need to change it? Shows up out of nowhere and bobs Chaos on the head. Now, this Sonic is from Sonic Mania, which was released 3 years prior. In that game's ending, Sonic was sucked into a portal made by the Phantom Ruby, which leads him here. Why is the Phantom Ruby in Sonic Mania? Well, you see, originally, Mania was going to have a completely different plot where Eggman would fall into a depression after Sonic 3, and his equivalent of the Power Rangers, the hard-boiled heavies, would try to defeat Sonic while Eggman is out of commission, listening to emo rap and all. But Izuka went to the Mania team and said, no, you're making this game a prequel to our game because we need more plot holes in our franchise. After saving Tails, we begin Classic Sonic's first stage, and you can tell that he wants to go back to Mania. We won't talk about Classic Sonic much until we get to gameplay, because he has nothing to do with the story. You can definitely tell he was added last second. Back to Sonic, who, like I said before, is completely fine. Zavok is about to banish him into space to find out if he was the imposter or not. They have a fight and Sonic escapes, basically making the Resistance finding him completely pointless. About half an hour later, Shadow is spotted in the city and Sonic is sent after him. Now here, you'd expect a boss fight of Shadow, but nope! Sonic puts his hands in front of his head while the real Shadow finishes him off. I say the real Shadow because the returning villains that you saw before were all illusions created by the Phantom Ruby, and Infinite can create unlimited numbers of them. So why not make more? We only see them during bosses in the beginning of the game. Why don't I see them anywhere else? You have the resources, make more! About 5 stages later, the Resistance raids Metropolis, not Grand Metropolis, Metropolis, after a previous attempt made by Knuckles that washed out. When Sonic comes face to face with Robotnik, Infinite shows Sonic Null Space, a pocket dimension where nothing exists. Sounds like a fun level is about to be played. Monica tries to prevent Sonic from being sucked into null space, but gets dragged in along with him. Oh boy, here we go, null space time. I hate it here. The Resistance, along with Sega's laziness, marched right into Eggman's forces with the most awkward scene in the game. And Eggman summoned the sun! Now, Monica has made great progress. She's become Sonic's best friend. This never existed. She's also got the prototype of the Phantom Ruby that looks like the one from Mania. So, does that mean that the Phantom Ruby from Mania is a prototype? Why was it buried on Angel Island? I will never understand your ways, Sonic Team. With the prototype in hand, Monica jumps right into the sun and deletes it from the game's files.
Just like Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club.
Sonic goes head-to-head with Infinite when Monica shows up to help him finish him off. This is just the Metal Sonic boss fight. When Infinite is defeated, Sonic gives him the bonds of friendship speech, and Infinite is never seen again. No, I'm serious. He's gone. Sonic and Monica take down the reactor to destroy the Phantom Ruby's power source, but Robotnik had a backup plan with his biggest, baddest weapon yet. I'm not calling it the Death Egg Robot. Sonic, Classic Sonic, and Monica take him down with a triple boost. The end. Alright, now that I finished that dreadful story, let's move on to the game itself, shall we? Graphically, this game looks fine. It runs on the new graphics engine called the Hedgehog Engine 2. It doesn't look as good as Unleashed or Generations, but that might be because of the style of the game. Games like Phantasy Star Online and Mario and Sonic look great with this engine. The level design is awful. It's simple, linear stages that you can beat in under a minute if you're slightly above average. In fact, they're so short that people have gotten full refunds of the game on Steam since it was under Valve's 3-hour policy. How do you let something like that slide? Sonic feels absolutely abysmal when moving. He awkwardly gains speed after a few seconds, and controlling him is practically impossible. You want to move left? Too bad, bucko, you're going forward. Want to do a quick chain of jumps to keep your momentum? Nah, dude, let's just stop you right in your tracks when you jump on enemies. This applies to Monica and Classic... Alright, let's get this out of the way. Classic Sonic. Ah! Classic Sonic is an absolute disgrace to the classic gameplay style. He has a speed cap. A speed cap. Well, yes, Sonic 1 had a speed cap. It didn't feel awkward since the level design was based around it. Here, it's like they took a bunch of Sonic 2 stages and expected him to feel the exact same way. No! He feels heavy as a rock. If you hit a wall with enough speed when he spin dashes, he'll flip off to face the camera before diving into a headfirst dive. And no, I don't get goosebumps when I see it. It just makes me feel sad. There are so many other things about Classic Sonic I could go over. The fact that it took 5 seconds for him to start drowning, his ugly model, the level design of his stages, auto-scrolling. Monica, or the avatar, is completely customizable, as in you can change their bodysuit, shirt, hats, shoes, eyes, all that. The amount of customizability here is insane. There are so many options to choose from, even from other Sega franchises like Persona and Jet Set Radio. And a Sonic t-shirt. I would ask why, but the 12-year-old in me is squealing on the inside, so it works. Monica feels like a worse version of Sonic's gameplay style. Instead of the boost, she has Wisp Bombs. Wisp Bombs are a type of weapon that you can unlock powered by the Wisp from Sonic Colors. I would go over the use of Wisps in recent games, but that's a whole other bag of marbles that I might go into another day when I inevitably review Sonic Colors out of obligation. There are 7 Wisp Bombs in total: Burst, Drill, Hover, Lightning, Void, Cube, and Asteroid, with 2 abilities for each. Here's the best part. When you use them, not only do you control poorly, but you're also completely invincible, making certain parts of the game complete jokes. Monica has the same curse as other characters, where controlling her is an absolute nightmare. Platforming is awful, the Wisp Bombs aren't properly made in tandem with the stages, making it more annoying than usual. And of course, moving around is basically impossible. Okay, the music. Ah! The music here is fine. Some tracks are pretty alright, and others are Green Hill, Green Hill. I'll go over some highlights. Lost Valley was fine on first listen, but after playing Speed Battle and that being the only song that played in levels for a while, it got repetitive. Ghost Town is probably the only classic song I can tolerate. It's got a pretty nice beat, but the font could be way better. That goes for all the classic Sonic songs and pretty much the rest of the soundtrack, but Ghost Town is probably the best example of this. Eggate is pretty neat. A part of it reminded me of Ultimate Battle from Dragon Ball Super, but I genuinely don't see how I came to that conclusion when I was younger. Infinite's theme is pretty cool on first listen. Now, sure, it exists. Fist Bump is awful. I hate almost everything about it. The vocals sound like something you would hear from a vocal cover of an instrumental song, and that's basically what it was. When the song was first revealed, it was simply the instrumental, and that's what we had for a few months. I mean, look at this. Sounds like he was trying to add it to fit the beat. The font is kind of garbage, but it's tolerable. I'll gladly listen to the instrumental, but you won't catch me listening to the actual song on a whim unless if it's a joke. Sunset Heights was a roller coaster of emotions. Oh no, not the song. The road to finally hearing the song. We first heard it when Modern Sonic's gameplay was revealed, and we could barely hear it over the ear-bleeding sound effects. There were remixes after remixes after remixes, but no one could get it completely right until E3. And even then, the fonts were practically impossible to recreate, so we had to wait until October to listen to the official song. That was a month before release. The song itself, though, I mean, I guess. Again, the font is kind of garbage, but it's tolerable. Monica's songs are where it's at in finding pure mediocrity. Some of the songs here are fine, none of them are mind-blowing except for Aqua Road, we don't count that. Park Avenue is pretty cool, it's one of those Sunset Heights things that we all know and love. You decide what I mean by that. The vocals are, but the real highlight is when they played it at the Tokyo Game Show and they added air horns. Guardian Rock is garbage, the vocals don't make sense, the autotune is hilarious, and the font still sounds like garbage. Imperial Tower used to be my favorite song in the entire game. I made it the theme of my OC. You know a song is good when 12-year-old Expo makes it the theme of his OC. The song has very slight Guardian Rock syndrome. Is basically the exact opposite of the stage's theming. And the second half of the song has a really weird part that really can't be explained. The Light of Hope is really weird. I mean, it's a fine song, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't fit with something like this. This sounds like the ending to a Kingdom Hearts game. I mean, I guess it would kind of fit with the recent Sonic game ending themes, with things like My Destiny, Dear My Friend, and to a smaller extent, Speak With Your Heart. But I mean, this is Sonic Forces. It doesn't have Elise not wanting to save the universe because it would mean that she would never meet Sonic. It doesn't have Chip returning to the Earth's core, leaving Sonic behind. No. It has classic Sonic doing the Spider-Man and Sonic assuring Tails that they'll run into him again. And say it with me, everyone.
Please don't.
Don't do that.
It doesn't fit. And honestly, really, who felt any emotion when classic Sonic left outside of thank God? Green Hill is... No. Sonic Forces was a roller coaster of emotions for me personally, from its reveal in 2016 to now. Sometimes I wish I could go back to the time before it launched, not because it wouldn't exist, well, yes, that would be one of the reasons, but so I could go back to the excitement of waiting, the songs made, the speculation videos, the speculation scratch projects made by one idiot child who only knew what Sonic Genesis was because of Son Call Me Johnny. Rewatching the trailers over and over again, the excitement with Mania alongside it, finally playing Mania and realizing that the true ending tied with Forces, talking about the game with my friends and waking up on that Tuesday morning to go to Walmart to pick it up for them to not have it so you just get an SD card instead so you can download to your Switch. All for it to lead to mediocrity. I truly dislike Sonic Forces in practically everything that it stands for. The story, the physics, the level design, the fact that people got their full money back on their first playthrough because of how short it was. How do you mess that up? And most of the music, and honestly, thinking about it now makes me more sad than angry. This along with Mania were the first mainline games I followed up to their launch, and at the time, I was all Sonic. I would play nothing but Sonic games, not giving others a shot like Freedom Planet as they were just simple rip-offs to me, not as good as the real deal. Even though Freedom Planet is actually better than most recent Sonic games. And this was around the time that I started getting into social media. I would use Scratch mostly and didn't have a YouTube channel at the time, and I would share my thoughts through that. And honestly, as much as I dislike my old content, I'm glad I made them. Because if it wasn't for those, my thoughts about these games would be basically deep in the back of my mind. And I wouldn't be doing what I am right now without them. No matter how much I love or hate these games, they will always have a special place in my heart. And I have to thank them for that. I can't believe I have to thank Sonic Forces for something. Wait, what's going on? Well, that was dreadful.
Oh, thank God. Oh, the Dragon Balls worked.
Wait, what's going on? Why am I not in the afterlife?
I needed to bring you back, because you're the only one who could save us.
What do you mean?
Just take a look outside.
Oh.